Satnam, everybody. My name is Mahanraj Kaur. This is Kundalini Yoga. Is anybody new today to Kundalini Yoga? Okay, good. Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, me. I am so grateful for Yogi Bhajan. He's crazy. When you do tantric yoga, you really realize how nuts that man is. In the most beautiful way. You know, I think one of the things I love about Yogi Bhajan is that he's so much like us. Sometimes some of the masters before, they just seemed unattainable. But I think it was the energy. We didn't have the consciousness to understand that we're like them. And, Yogi Bhajan just wore it on his sleeve. That, crazy, dynamic, hard, but at the same time, they would flash all these pictures with him with the kids and just like off teaching where he'd be all, and he's just so in the understanding of the human dilemma. So I want to talk about so much, but the first thing I want to share is like when we finally got in there, it was like so much hustle and bustle, and we were like in there, we sit down in that Rocky Rock and Ahar that I was just started playing, and Tony and I looked at each other, and we just started crying. It's like, oh my God. You could feel him on that land. Very, very, very powerful. And the classes were good. Tony and I are going to do a free workshop next Sunday because we're going to kind of repeat a workshop that we went to on healing trauma. So I think we'll really get a lot out of that. But I want to talk about White Tantric and doing it where Yogi Bhajan lived, doing it in 97 degrees with the wind blowing and the dust going up your nose. It's really good. And one of the tantric leaders said, part of the detox, part of the blessing is this dust and this heat and this land. And it really, really was. So I so believe in miracles because we did a Sat Kriya, Tony and I together for 62 minutes, like this. Sat Nam, and he did Nam. Sat Nam, Sat. And there is, in my wheelhouse, there is no part of me that believes I could do that. Not once did I put my arms down. And it was not me. Something happened. Plus, Tony and I worked out a lot, like, in it, It was really life-changing. And that's why, the next White Tantra is just one day, and it's in LA in an air-conditioned room. Go. It's okay if you put your arms down too. Like it's all an experience. Like the first 62-minute one we did, on the first day, I got pissed off at him because I thought he was bending my arms back. And it's so funny because all the women, like this lady and this lady, was saying the same thing to the guys. Like, So it's weird, right? So, but I got angry and then I got over it and then I just relaxed. But, so that was the first 62, right? The next one, there's actually 2 62s a day on this particular White Tantric. The next day was the Sat Kriya, and it was just like, oh my God, we really broke through things individually and together. Then the next one was, the next day, his hand was on my forehead. This hand was here, and then, this hand's on the forehead, this hand's here. And it was so painful to my neck for some reason. And we did come out of it a couple times and go back to it, and that was very healing too. It was like there was so much going on. But here's what I want to really talk about, because I had this injury in my neck, and so some of the pain you would think is going to make it worse. It healed it. I feel better in my neck and shoulders than I ever have. Some of the time it actually felt like surgery. It was like, what the, But okay, so I want to talk about this because sometimes we don't try as hard at the soul as we should. So if it's a sharp pain, that's different. But if it's that dull ache, fuck, that's not good enough. Stay in it if you can, because something amazing is going to happen on the spiritual, mental, and physical level. I don't remember exactly, but there is something that Guru Singh said about the C2 and C3 and our reptilian addictive nature. That's what gets worked on a lot in those kind of kriyas. And so you want to bust through it. And, it's like, I feel like we get major healings and bust-throughs. Hey, I love you. Good to see you. You get major things. And then the real test, right, is believing it, holding on to it. Maybe you can do it into the car, into Trader Joe's. By the time you get home, whatever, right? We have this length of time. Same way with a retreat, right? Go on this retreat. Okay, it's really, and like, I remember when we woke up and was coming home, we were so weird. We were so mean and freaked out, like for first hour. And we like looked at each other and he's like, this is a part of it too. Wow. So it's about really knowing it's all perfect. You haven't done anything wrong. So if you get freaked out later on today after you have so much bliss, because we all hit that bliss button in here, don't we? Be compassionate to yourself and really understand that is perfect too. Relax and feel what is triggering you. It doesn't mean you didn't do the Kundalini right. It doesn't mean this doesn't work. It means that you have the energy to be more present to that right now than you ever could. But we miss that. We think, oh, well, shit, now I'm back in this. Relax. Instead, go, all right, I'm totally angry at the person ahead of me at the stoplight. What's this? Not even what's this about. Don't analyze it. Go, and that's okay. And just feel it. See if you can go a little deeper. Then, because what happens in Kundalini Yoga is it does heal you, it does give you energy, but it also brings your shit to the surface. But here's the blessing of the practice. You have the energy to deal with it. Instead of going, oh my God, I'm not spiritual. And that's what I love about Yogi Bhajan. He was like weird and crazy. I mean, he really seemed unspiritual sometimes, which is great. Because I think that's part of the Piscean. I think even our perception as Jesus is mean. I think, yeah, he walked on water, but he also had a bad day. And can we understand? Because if we don't really embrace this is why it's so important. We're waking up. And if you are still holding the criteria that it needs to look perfect over your head, you're not going to make it. It doesn't matter. You can die and come back. But you know what? We need you. We need you right now. You are awake right now. You're enlightened. The only thing getting in your way is that you think you're not supposed to get pissed off on the freeway or whatever. I'm a good freeway person. That's actually, I don't know, I've had that freeway blessing. Nothing really bothers me about getting cut off. I don't care. But some people really do. I'm more mean to people, like credit card people on the phone. I don't know. Like anybody on the phone, even Facebook. I don't know. It's so bizarre. But I'm working on it. Like, what is this about? This isn't working. I mean, like a totally different person. Oh, my God. But it's not a different person, is it? There's a person inside of me. There's a part of me that feels like, oh, my God, I'm so being taken advantage of, and it's not working. Like those cartoons and the tears go, poo, poo, poo. I mean, I have that total baby inside of me. It's like Tony and I laugh about this because I'm the baby of 6, 4 boys and a sister. And Tony is an only child. That is such a not a good mix. Because I already feel so taken advantage of. He has no consideration for anyone else. It's like, what the fuck? But isn't that perfect? Because his thing, only child thing, doesn't work, and my baby thing doesn't work. It's so, you will, whatever your thing is, You will create situations so that you can heal it. And you are so blessed because you do Kundalini yoga, so you're going to move through it quicker. And you know, here's the thing too, not codependence, but interdependence. What I do does affect you. No matter how I spin it, you know, when I'm alone and no one sees, it doesn't matter. It affects you. And we can see the dysfunction of who we are on a big scale with governments and our world. They're just like children too. And nobody parented them good. And they feel lost and alone. They feel like someone's going to hurt them. Just like you and I. So we are intraconnected. So here's the difference on how that looks, right? Codependence looks like, well, you know, he's eating a chocolate cake, I should too. You know, even though you haven't ate sugar for 2 weeks, whatever, right? Or, you know, I'm an overspender, so he feels like I better go to the mall with her, even though he doesn't like malls. That's weird. Okay, this is not good. You know, interdependence is really holding the light and trusting the other, no matter how many times they go off the side. You still love them. You still empower them. And you really hold true to what matters the most is your side of the street. If you can hold this energy, the right things will just be attracted to you. That doesn't mean no challenges, because you're going to need those to grow, but the right people, the right job, the right money, the right everything will come. And you know that this is the good news. You can manage yourself. You can. You're just not that interested in it. You can because you are God. You can because you can hand it over to God. You can because you have the tools. And that brings harmony. What we want, you know, I mean, the big systems are breaking down. What just happened in England is huge. That will, you know, it's like Greece went bankrupt. England just did that. We're all going to go, and you know, it's good because we made up the whole frickin' thing anyway. It's like China's in debt and we're in debt. We're in debt to who? The universe? Is God going to come down and say, you guys spent too much money? No! We could all just go, you know what, delete. Let's start fresh because we're all screwed. Let's just, you know, it didn't work out good. You know, and figure out a better system. And it's going to eventually happen because what we're doing isn't working. And just like our own lives, this is why we can have so much faith. How many times have you gone down a road and it just didn't work and eventually you can't do it anymore? You have no choice. That's the same way with the governments and the same way with the world. We're going to get to it. They're all going to get to a point where this is like, oh my God, we can't do it. And they will have to get along. But it starts with us. So let's do this work. We're going to really work on our chakras. And we're going to invite, by having this alignment, to hear the shunya, the stillness. It is very interesting. Your soul is perfect. When it stands in front of God, there's nothing to forgive because your soul has never done anything wrong. It just is. It is God. It is love. It is perfect. Yogi Bhajan talked about that a lot at summer solstice. However, your soul wanted to get inside of a body and be directed by a mind that is so flawed and so weird. Because this is one of the greatest journeys it can take. It's not judging it, because the more whacked out you are, the more it gets to be pristine and alchemized. It's all perfect. However, the invitation here is we are supposed to become human angels. What's happening to your mind, and this is huge, is it's becoming divine. Your mind, have you noticed, doesn't want to do it anymore. And you're not making it do that. It's just going, this isn't working. And what happens is, with this practice, is your soul can rise up because it has all the answers and all the energy to help you. It has a deep connection to the Almighty. What we're going for, folks, is total alignment of the body, mind, and soul. And we're doing it here in Kundalini. I love you. Let's rub our hands. Take a deep breath and open your mouth. Deep breath. Open your mouth. Bring your hands into your heart. And just take a moment right here as we start to love the one you're with. Be as still as you can and feel your soul. You know it's your soul because it's this feeling like everything's just fine. Breathe into that part of you. And open up the awareness that that part is the entire universe. It is the Divine Mother and the Heavenly Father. At the beginning of Kundalini, we tune in with Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And we've been given this mantra by Yogi Bhajan so that when we say it, it's like he's sitting here now teaching. That's why we do it. It's so we can connect deeply to Kundalini Yoga and get the highest version of it. And we make that happen by chanting Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale to chant. Om